Alright guys, how's it going? This is my first YouTube rant. I've been doing rants on Snapchat, political rants for about a year now. And so it seemed to kind of take off, so I kind of wanted to bring it to a bigger platform. Today I got a buddy with me, Kevin. The topic we're going to be talking about is gun control and different situations that the media has covered and not covered, as well as what they didn't cover well enough. As well as Kevin being a gun owner, he has background in the matter and knows a little bit more about guns than I do, even though we both know.
I would say we both know a fair amount, as I have a farm and I take Wade shooting all the time. I don't know if I was the first person you ever shot with. Was I? I don't know. It was a long time.
It's been a long
time.
But it's been a long time.
Me and Wade have been avid shooters. That sounds really bad. But we've been avid shooters at my farm. Just target practice, clay pigeons. We love skeet shooting. Both of us love being in the outdoors. So guns have been a big part of my life ever since I was a kid. I grew up around them. My dad had them. His granddad had them, and it just kind of carried down to a very expensive hobby. So we're gonna get into two facts, and then we have some guns for you today that we're gonna show you. Wade's gonna start off with the first one on the Georgia concealed carry. We wrote them down just so we don't get mixed up.
Yeah, we're trying to follow a format.
Yeah, right.
So in Georgia, we'll kind of both share our opinions on this. In Georgia, it's happened for several years. A town in Georgia has a town completely made up of people. The entire population, it's a small town, but it's still a town, of everybody having concealed carry. Now, there is next to no crime rate. No major crime rate, no gun violence, nothing. So I guess the question to ask ourselves is simply everyone in this town just nice, or does having concealed carry, everybody by choice, does everybody having concealed carry discourage gun violence against each other? So what do you think?
Well, it is a small town, like you said. However, that really shouldn't matter. I mean, there are small towns that have, shootings or people die from a gun, and that shouldn't matter. However, when you're in a town like that, you got to think inside of maybe someone like a criminal and think, well, it's been said a lot of these people have guns. Do I really want to try and break into that car? Do I really want to rob that convenience store? And now that's far-fetched. I mean, that could happen. It couldn't happen. So I mean, it's a very in-between thing between both parties. However, one fact that anyone can look up is, especially in like Texas and other things where it's a little bit more lenient. We're from Illinois, so a little bit more strict here. Yeah, a lot more strict here compared to our surrounding states. But even in Illinois and all the other states that were late to legalize concealed carry, the crime rate has dropped, and that's just a fact. I mean, you can look it up. Crime rate droppage due to concealed carry. I've looked it up. I've done papers on it when I was in high school. So,
and I like how you even said it at the beginning of this, is that it shouldn't really matter the size of the town or the city or even the state, that having an opposite force against an evil force discourages it no matter what.
Yeah.
And I kind of like how you included that, because I pretty much think the same thing.
Yeah.
That it should discourage it, and it's also better to protect yourself and be ready, even if something doesn't happen, than for something to happen and you not be prepared for it.
And a little side note that Wade can add on to, obviously anyone with a concealed carry should have the proper training. There's nothing that I am against with someone just, here's your concealed carry and I'll go carry this gun. You need to know when it's okay to use that gun. Some people will argue the fact that, hey, I got a gun on me. Or people argue that person's got a gun on me, he's going to use it for a reason.
Right.
You know, nobody wants to. Most concealed, I shouldn't say nobody, but most concealed carry people, they don't want to kill anyone. They never even want to have to use it. But it's there for their safety, for maybe that lady that's getting beaten to death, or that cop that's getting, you know, shot at or something. That
or themselves that are about to be attacked. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So you got to have the proper training, in which that's going to be a topic that we discuss in a few more topics. That kind of was confusing, but it's going to be a topic that we discuss, as I have a family member that just went through the process of getting a concealed carry, and it is complex. Any gun situation, and anyone buying a gun has to go through, they might not see it, but it's actually a pretty complex situation. We'll get into that on that topic.
Yeah.
Next one?
Yeah.
All right. So in a local town in Illinois, AR-15s were banned. I believe it was after a certain shooting, and I can't what shooting? The Parkland. It was Parkland.
It was the Parkland shooting in Florida.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but it was the Parkland shooting. As we said, we live in Illinois. It's very democratic, and you know, people have their reasons and they have their opinions, just like we have ours, and we're saying it to you guys. But the AR-15 ban is actually being lifted now, and it's been, I think that happened.
It hasn't been lifted yet, but it's in the process.
It's in the
of being
process, because that is going against state and federal laws,
as well as the Constitution.
That's constitutional laws. So that's where you're at. I mean, it's the Second Amendment, and you know, California has their restrictions on magazine capacity, and that's their decision. The guns I'm going to show you today, 2 of them you would not be able to own in California, as I don't remember the limit. I think it was above 7. Was it? No, 10? 10? I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but it's a lower number.
Absurd.
It's lower than 15, I know that.
Well, so. And I know in Deerfield it wasn't just AR-15s that were banned, it was any semi-automatic weapons, so whether that be a handgun,
a scary gun,
an AR-15, or a remake of AK-47 to be semi-automatic, or even a semi-automatic shotgun. And if you don't know what semi-automatic means, that means you pull the trigger and it shoots once. It shoots as fast as you can pull the trigger. That's what semi-automatic means. It's 1 bullet per pull.
All right, we are we done with that topic? All right.
I'm fine.
So we're gonna go ahead and show you a gun. And these are all my guns. I am legal to have them. Believe it or not, I've had my FOID card since I was 12, but I obviously can't get a gun until I'm 18. So all these are rifles. All I have are rifles because I'm only 8. I'm 19. Fuck. All right, this first one of my favorites. This is an AK-47, chambered in 7.62 by 39. It's Romanian made. It is semi-automatic. It is not automatic. There's no bump stock and whatnot. This gun would look scary to some that have never shot a gun. I mean,
I love that gun.
Looks a little scary to me. I mean, if I saw someone walking down the street with this, I'd probably poop myself a little. But yeah, so this is an AK-47, and this is an RH-10 made by Century. Fully semi-automatic, completely legal. And you know, a lot of people say, you know, like that's a killer. Well, the gun's not gonna kill him. I could, hey, kill Wade right now. Shoot him.
Wait, hold on. You gotta hold it up.
Here, we'll hold it like this. I'll hold it very loosely with one hand. Shoot Wade. I think he likes Wade. Maybe the other ones don't. But no, the gun is not going to shoot anyone. It's the person who shoots. And unfortunately, you know, in our generation, depending on how old you are watching this video, in our generation, school shootings have erupted, and it's a very bad topic. It's something nobody wants to talk about. It's something nobody wants to see on the news, because these kids are going to school. You know, we all went to school. You know, we were fortunate not to get shot at. Not like that we live in a bad area where that can happen, but Parkland wasn't a bad area. You know, Columbine.
Neither was Sandy Hook, and neither was Columbine. And,
right.
These things that happen, it's so sad to talk about. It's so sad to hear about, and the initial reaction when you see these things is you want to do something. You want something enacted, but you got to think: are these politicians? Are these victims, or at least the mass majority of these victims? Are they responding in the correct way? Are they responding in a way that's better for society, or is it in a way that's better for them to feel safe? But what about the rest of the world, and what about the rest of the continental U.S.?
Right, and to add on to that, you know, a lot of the people that conduct the school shootings have been bullied, and there are so many other factors to that, and and that's unfortunate, because everyone in their life has been bullied. Some get pushed farther, some get pushed longer, and that's the unfortunate part about it. But usually the first thing that pops up usually is, what are we going to do about the guns? What are we going to do? And then it starts banning them and all this other nonsense that's not going to change anything. Think about how many people get illegal guns. How many people have fully automatic weapons on the streets that are killing people every single day that the media isn't covering. The south side of Chicago was a war zone.
It still is.
It will be. And that's not because of legal gun owners.
It's illegal. And
those are all, most of them, I should say, a lot of them are pistols, but a lot of them are acquired illegally. And a lot of those are fully automatic Uzis, Tech 9s, AK-47s, M4s,
black market guns.
Unfortunately,
unregistered.
Unfortunately, they're not that hard to get for some people, and that's, where the problem is. Now, in Florida, people are talking about, well, he bought the gun in a parking lot. That it goes both ways. Do I agree with it? No. Should there have been something else that possibly, nothing else would have happened, really. I mean, if it's an underground sale, it's an underground sale. I mean, there's nothing that we can do, and just don't bully kids in school, okay?
Yeah, that kind of relates how you were saying how the guns are obtained illegally. One of the first largest mass shooting, where I think 13 people were killed and 20 were injured in the Sandy Hook shooting. It was rumored that Adam Lanza obtained the guns legally. He used a Bushmaster AR-15, which is a common gun used in mass shootings and school shootings in general. It seems to be the weapon of choice. And a Ruger pistol, 9mm, I think, and then another 9mm Smith & Wesson handgun. And before the police could catch him, he ended his own life. But the point of this, me bringing this up, is that he actually killed his mother with a .22 rifle. And then he obtained the guns. So the guns were obtained by his parents legally. And then illegally, 19-year-old Adam Lanza took the guns and then proceeded to the Sandy Hook school. But so on the topic of school shootings and gun violence, while we're on that topic, I just wanted to bring up kind of like a topic fact. Earlier in 2019, and this also happened in 2018, the media had used the statistic that over 18 school shootings have happened over the span of 2 months. Now, if you have watched my Snapchat rants, you know how much I don't like the media, mainstream media. But let's just talk about that for a sec. That the media supposedly covered over 18 school shootings in the span of 2 months of the year. So what do you think about that? You think that's a load of crap? Because I do.
It is, and it's actually. Oh, I'm sorry, that was probably loud. It is incorrect, and it's a fact that it's incorrect. And Wade can tell you what's just the, one of those was, and I believe there was only actually the two that happened that were actual school shootings. The other one was a gun going off in the proximity of a school.
And they considered that a school shooting.
Right. And I believe another one was like a gun was stolen near school or something like that. But it was a bunch of... It was a way of making it sound way bigger than it was. Now, don't get me wrong. School shootings are huge. Like I said, what we said before, it's a very shitty topic. It really is. And no one wants to talk about it. No matter where you are on the political party, no one wants to talk about it. But unfortunately, it happens now. And that's something that we have to overcome as American citizens. And that's something that, without banning guns, we have to figure out a way. Maybe something... I don't know. It's something that would be far down the line. I don't even know where to start with that, but...
And the problem in modern day politics is everybody wants to point out the problems, but nobody wants to point out a solution. But the solutions that are given take away other people's freedoms. So that's not really a solution. That's a solution for one half of the problem.
Right. So next topic going on.
So the next topic I want to talk about was how... So Cory, I read this a little bit ago that Cory Booker wants to, who's a senator or representative from New Jersey, he wants to induct more strict of background checks to even obtain a gun, whether that be just getting a FOID card or concealed carry or even buying a gun. It's extreme background checks, and if you have tried to buy a gun already, you will know that the background checks are already pretty intense, and that there's several different requirements to getting these permits and getting these guns, and even with the gun restrictions, like no bump stocks and stuff like that.
Right.
But background checks are already so immense, and there's already regulations for this type of stuff, and whether that be a criminal record, which you're not allowed to even get a FOID card. Think about getting a FOID card if you are on a criminal watch list or have a criminal record.
And mental illness.
And mental illnesses, yeah. So any type of known violent mental illness or any type of mental illness or drug abuse. Menta. That affects your decision making and your decisiveness in a situation that even people with normal brains, they have a hard time evaluating the situation. But we'll talk about that in another topic in a little bit. So now we're going to show you another gun.
Which one? That one or that one? Should we do less scary or very scary?
End it on a good note. We'll do it with the less scary.
Okay. Alright, we'll do it with the less scary. This, to some people, would be like the Armageddon of guns. Can you...
Sorry, freaking stuff.
Jesus. Alright, are you ready? Oh, you can already see this guy right here. Obviously no mag in it. This is one of my newer ones. It is a Black Diamond AR-15. Shoots 5.56 or 2.23.
And what safety precautions do both of the guns, both the AK-47 and this AR, have?
Well, they were both racked, obviously. By racking, we mean by cocking it back and opening it. And if there were a bullet in it, if there could possibly be, but there's no magazine in them either. But if there was a bullet, it would have came out. Obviously, I don't want to put any holes in my roof. But so gun safety is a very, very big topic, and anyone that is looking to maybe get into guns or has a gun and maybe isn't the safest with it you should read up on it because that's how people get hurt.
Or learn.
Learn, right.
And that's one of the things that isn't taught in society, and people that aren't exposed, they have no idea how to handle it.
Oh my god.
Like that.
Now we're gonna put that down. I saw a little thing on my barrel, a little like styrofoam, and I was like, oh, that's curious. Okay. But anyways, yeah, that's a Black Diamond. That's one of my newer ones. You know, I love that gun. But that gun ain't gonna kill no one. I'm not gonna kill no one. There's no point. And you know, the people that, you know, back to the school shooting, because this is kind of what it revolves around, unfortunately, because this is how it is. You know, some of those people, like I said, were bullied or had some sort of mental illness, or maybe didn't come from the best home. Now, how can we prevent that? That's really up to the parents, parenthood. Mental illness, obviously, you know, there's places that you can go. But we're not going to get into that. We're just kind of trying to stick to gun control. I kind of went out yonder there.
It's hard to stay on topic,
right? Because there's so many topics that revolve around this.
So many factors go into what guns are seen as today, whether that be the person, what's wrong with the person, or how the person was raised.
Right.
And there's so many different factors to why these things happen, and it's. One factor that shouldn't even be on the table is the gun. There's nothing wrong with a gun.
Right.
Absolutely nothing.
Right. Okay. Next topic is the 48-hour to 72-hour period until a legal gun owner with a FOID card can get a gun. Now, I said 2 different times, 48-hour and 72 hours. I said hour. Okay. Hours. 48. Anything rifle-based, 48 hours. So that counts for your AR-15s, your long rifles, your precision rifles, your marksman rifles, your grandkid's first .22 rifle that you give him on his 10th birthday. You know, that all has to go 48 hours before you can pick up the gun. In that 48 hours, it may not seem like a lot when you go there and you buy the gun, because literally when you go to, you know, I've been to Bass Pro, I bought them. You click some stuff on a computer, it's a bunch of questions asking if I'm an alien. Do I look like an alien to you? No. But that seems like it's not a lot, right? But that's really just getting your personal information so that they conduct the 2-day background check that goes through, you know, state, federal, pretty much everything that'll look up, and it will block your access to get a gun if it finds, like we said earlier, mental illness, criminal record, criminal watch list, or watch list by the FBI, anything like that. So that'll block it. 72 hours is anything for a pistol, so 3 days. As a pistol needs to be, I wouldn't say they all need to be checked up on about the same, but a pistol is a lot more concealable, and that's usually why
it takes longer, and why it
takes
so much
longer
more strict,
and you know, that's why, aside from the AR-15, it's been used in school shootings, because you can put them in your pocket, you can put them in the back of your pants, concealed, you know. But that could be another topic for us, teachers with guns. It could be another
You want to do that today?
No, we'll save that for another one, maybe later yonder down the line.
We got a game plan. I love it when a plan comes together.
Okay, so that's pretty much that 48-hour to 72-hour window. If you've ever bought a gun, you've experienced it. It is the worst 2 or 3 days of your life, because you're just like, I want my new gun so bad. And yeah.
So guns, to kind of, not necessarily to reel it back, but to kind of expand on this 48 and 72-hour time difference. Do you personally, Kevin, do you think that, because obviously in the wrong hands a gun can be dangerous.
Absolutely.
But the gun on its own is not dangerous. But so do you think in someone's hands, the wrong person's hands, do you think either a handgun or a rifle would do more damage? In the hands of a wrong person, and this is theoretically speaking.
What kind of rifle are we talking about?
Semi-automatic or a full automatic or
full automatic. Definitely rifle.
Full automatic, which is already banned federally, nationally.
Yeah, fully automatic.
Unless it's at an exotic range, outdoor range. They don't allow them at any indoor ranges.
The guy in Colorado has a pretty sick range. I think it's in Colorado, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, isn't it like a veteran?
Yeah, he's got the most guns in the world. It's pretty cool. He's got a YouTube video. I can't remember his name, but if you search it up, you'll find it. Just like guy with the most guns in Colorado. It's cool. It's a really cool tour. He's kind of a weirdo though.
Demolition Ranch is pretty cool.
Yeah, I love Demolition. Actually, I got a hat over there. I'm not gonna get it, but yeah, Matt Carricker is awesome. He is cool. Check him out. I'm sure you all have if you're looking at this video.
And definitely we're not quite done, but definitely I don't know if you want to do it before you go to bed tonight or after you're done watching. Definitely look up the stuff we're talking about. I know we didn't exactly say the specific names of what happened. We're trying to keep it abroad, but definitely look up these facts and definitely check your facts if you disagree with us. And if we are wrong with some of our facts or whatever, definitely let us know in the comments. And then one of our last topics that we're talking about.
Back to your question of rifle though. And the reason I say that is, well, it depends. It's like a really in between question because, you know, you got a longer barrel with the rifle, and usually if it's an AR, now if we're talking about an AR-15, you're gonna have, you know, more rounds. You know, most likely. I mean, some pistols are double stacked 20 round mags, or you can get Glock 50 round mags, which are stupid. I don't know, like waste of ammo, but yeah, it just depends. Maybe one person's more skilled with the pistol than they are with the rifle. Then that person becomes more dangerous with the pistol than they would with the rifle.
Well, and it's definitely more maneuverability too. I mean, most of the guns that we've heard of being used, they have shortened stocks as well as shortened barrels, which I mean makes them less accurate.
An SBR essentially.
Exactly, but it makes them more maneuverable, especially for tight hallways and going through doorways, like in shootings and stuff.
But I mean, the main key is any gun can be dangerous in the wrong hands.
Right.
It could be .22 long rifle. It can be dangerous in the wrong hands.
Even a musket.
Yeah, well,
Flintlock pistol.
Just gonna need some quick reload, but all right, we're gonna go on to the last topic because we kind of dragged on a little here. And that is concealed carry regulations. I have a family member that just recently went through it. He had to take a 2-day. This is for Illinois, so like you said, pretty democratic here. 2-day period of class, and then you have to take a shooting test. And that test involves hitting the target a certain amount of times with a certain amount of ammo. I don't remember what the exact thing was. It's like at least half your shots or something. And someone that doesn't know how to use a pistol and that's trying to get it won't be able to do that. You know, you gotta be used to shooting a gun. You know, you gotta know how to shoot a gun. And then it also, so that license, you don't get that concealed carry right away. That concealed carry has to go through the state and federal before they'll ship it to you. And that's for that, again, that very enhanced background check that they do for even if you're buying a gun. So that's really it.
And even walking into gun shops, people are acting like you can walk in there like a candy shop and pick out whatever the hell you want. That is probably one of the most untrue statements ever. Yeah. If you cannot provide evidence that you are over 21 or have a FOID card or a concealed carry permit, they won't even let you.
They won't even let you in the range part or the
They won't even
the door really.
Really, yeah.
Because the one local gun shop by us has that like front part, and then they're like, "Hey, you got your FOID card in order to go in the back."
Right.
If not, sorry, you can stay up here and look at the ammo behind the case
or the knives that they have.
So. We're going to show you what some people would consider a less scary gun. This is another.
It's pretty
God,
cool,
I have a bad problem. These are all new. Not that new, but I mean, they're new.
They don't have dust on them.
Yeah, they ain't got dust on them. Alright, this guy here. Give you a full length. This guy is a Savage Axis 2, 243 caliber. This is pretty much your baseline caliber to be hunting with. Take down a deer. That's pretty much what it is. Unfortunately, where I hunt, no rifles are allowed, so I can't use this gun when I hunt. It's really only shotgun, black powder, and crossbow and bow and arrow. Jesus. All right. But that's really it. This is what some people would consider a less scary gun. So we thought we'd kind of give you, scary.
We have more
really
to show,
scary.
but not enough time.
Right. And another thing is, sorry about the camera quality. The lighting just it messes with it. It'll get really clear, and then really it goes in and out. I apologize.
We'll be doing more rants on this, definitely.
Yeah,
we'll,
subtopics as well on it.
We'll figure out more of the technological stuff as we go along, and definitely of just different stuff we can get for you guys. So it's.
I think that's it.
All right, guys. So as one of my favorite things to do, and one of my most common things to do at the end of every rant I do, I just wanted to say thank you for listening, for those of you that are listening and made it through this very, very long discussion.
What do we at? What do we at down there? Like,
I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyways,
thanks for listening.
Subscribe
if you'd like.
This will be our first video. Give us some comment what you want to hear us discuss on,
and definitely give us more topics. What you want to hear about?
Exactly what I just said, Wade.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you should see me on more of these rants. Sorry about that. Very important, man. But yeah, so you should see me on more of these rants. I used to be a streamer, so that's actually why I got some of this equipment. So I kind of stopped. So Wade's gonna come over here and do it and fiend off my equipment. Not that it's that good or anything, but that's it for me, man. You ready to wrap her up?
Yeah, man.
All right.